This is an exhibition which was researched, developed and set up by Qatar museums. The exhibition was originally done for the Olympic Games in 2024. So this exhibition was set up in Paris last year for the Olympic Games. And then we brought it here. It's not an exhibition which is driven by objects. This is an exhibition which is driven, the narrative is driven through videos. So we have a series of 40 videos, and the 40 videos, they express specific parts of esports. And of course, there's a didactic approach. I give you the first one, for example. So this is the basic. I mean, you know what is the difference between esports and gaming, but most of the visitors don't know. So, and they are very shortcut videos. There's only 1 minute, boom, and it gives you the information. It's like a walking series, the whole exhibition. And we are working very much with broadcasting technology, much more than with standard museum technology here. We start first with the explanation, what is esports? And as you probably very much know, is what is esports is a question which is highly discussed in the International Olympic Committee, because they are getting part of it. And therefore, they organized already the Olympic eSports Week in Singapore. This was in 2023. And they highly discussed what it means to be esports. Because only to give you the framework, the ESL, so the Electronic Sport League, was bought by Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is investing a lot in order to organize those games. And in the same time, there's a cooperation between the ESL and Saudi Arabia and the IOC. So we will see what will be the future. But we are discussing this as well, okay? And I wanted to show you something which is also typical in this exhibition. We have some shortcut videos, and we produced our own videos. So those avatars which you see here, we developed the avatars, and whatever didactic approach, like esports, Olympic sports, like Olympic values, they discuss it. So we produced the majority of the video material here, okay? In between this exhibition, we always have some touch screens where you can always test your ability if you learn something, okay? So this is the first chapter. We have four chapters in this exhibition. This is the first one. The second chapter is about the history of esports. When would you think that esports start?
With pinball?
Yes, we start with pinball. Why? Because the esports is a competitive sport, so one is competing against the other, and you need rules, like in sports as well, right? The pinball, this is the last version of a pinball which was not electrified. When the electrified pinball started, you can compare. So you play and you get a score. I play and I get a score. And this I regard as the start of esports, okay? Those are some very important protagonists here. You might know some of them. I guess you know Sunstein, Johan, you know, No Tail. You might also know Maple, Grubby. So those you will say is the creme de la creme of esports, and only for you to know, this guy is earning more than Cristiano Ronaldo. So there is a lot of potential in the games as well. To repeat it again, for us, it's extremely important that this exhibition is an exhibition for everybody. So it's for the parents much more interesting than for the kids, because the parents can learn what it is about, and perhaps they might understand what the kids are doing the whole night, you know. This chapter is about We Are Esports. It's about the people who stand behind the esports, okay? And first of all, we start with a very important video, which is a video from a professor from Nottingham. He is a professor for behavioral addiction. So this is something for the mothers and for the fathers quite important to know. So how my son is performing, right? So we think it's the shadowy side of gaming and esports, and we should say something about this. This is all around the system of esports. Number one is we speak about the tags. So the phenomenon that each one is using tags and nobody's using his own name. So the choice of tags is super important. Here, this was a guy, he was addicted to his tag. His tag was Gideon. He told me a story, he was walking in the street, yeah? And if somebody calls him by his name, he would not react anymore. He only reacted, and this shows you how the metaverse is getting into real life. Another phenomenon around VR eSports, I mean, this is all about skins. And I guess we have, I think this is one of the most beautiful skins. It was launched in 2019 in Singapore, where Louis Vuitton decided to enter into the market. The same, by the way, is celebrities. So celebrities who entered into the market, right? So, I mean, he's super important because Jackie O'Neill, he invested basically everything in esports. And this is Nats Mikkelsen, so he's one of the players. And I don't know, have you seen?
Yes.
Post Malone? So this is he's in Envy Gaming now. Cool. Here you have the volunteer work, and here we get a little bit more into the society. We speak about inclusion, specifically in contrary to traditional sports. Esports is extremely inclusion. Because you can be woman, you can be man, you can always play with a team. You don't have to come to a special nation. So the teams, they're all completely merged. Here we go to professionalizing esports, which means that how it is used. Also, everybody knows that to gaming, doctors are gaming, and many other industry are completely gaming. And here we come to the end. And the end is about learning, education, scouting, college esports. How this is implemented into the educational system.
What do you think about to put this kind of programs or museums in countries like Mexico, for example?
So the college esports is extremely, here you say, 60% of the US universities, they have college esports. And this is an excellent way in order to train, not to train players, but to train characters. Because esports means you're usually playing in a group. It's all about strategy. It's all about cooperation. And I think it's an excellent chance to integrate it not only in universities, but also in schools.
Seeing this exhibition, I can assume that this country knows the importance of this niche. So that's why they make this?
No, I think we also want to educate the people here about this, definitively. The reason why we set it up is because the first time when I got to know that it will become Olympic, and the Olympic and the International Olympic Committee will liaise to the esports world, for me it was clear that we have to inform the people, because we are an Olympic and Sports Museum. So our remit is the Olympics. And this is how we developed it. But we recognized when we had this exhibition in Paris that there is a huge interest. So I think it's a method to bring this, it's, let's say to bridge the generation conflict, you know? Because it's always the generation conflict, right? The older against the young. And when I started with this project, I had no idea. I'm a traditional sports historian, you know. You can ask me everything about sports, but not about this. And I learned so many things. It opened so much my eye. I'm much closer to this Gen Z generation now. For me, it was a beautiful way. And therefore, I hope that everybody try to go the same way as well. Because it helps us to understand each other, you know.